My name is Dr. Ronald Youngson. I'm a medical specialist and a certified handling techniques practitioner and trainer. It's my real pleasure today to share with you a very powerful neuroscience-based technique that can help you to rapidly reduce fear and anxiety, and at the same time to help you boost your immune system, an important thing to do at this time in the world. What I'd like to do is show you the very simple technique so that you have a practice that you can use. And then afterwards I'm going to explain the science and why this technique works and what it's doing in the body. So here goes. So I just want you first of all to focus on the anxiety or fear that you're feeling, and just start to rub your hands together like this as you begin to feel that fear and nervousness. And really tap into that feeling in your body. And then I want you to lift your arms up and just notice how powerfully the feeling changes in your body, because rubbing your hands together like this as they're held upright is much more a feeling of excitement or of gratitude. The next part of the practice is just to kind of give yourself a hug and stroke your arms gently from the shoulder down to the elbows, always in one direction, at about this rate. And this is really like the empathetic touch that you would offer another. If you're offering support and empathy and compassion, you touch them on the shoulder, on the arm, often with a little downward stroke. So just imagining that you're being your best friend and that you're hugging yourself. And then the third part of the practice is stroking on the face. So we're going to stroke across the forehead and down the sides. And this is kind of like the virtual Botox. So I want you to imagine that you're just easing away the frowns and creases you have in your forehead. And then on the cheeks, under the eyes, across the cheeks. And this can be likened to just wiping away the tears that might be associated with anxiety or fear. So these are the three movements. Rubbing your hands together, and this time just keeping them upright. The stroking on your arms from the shoulders down to the elbows, and the stroking on the face. Across the forehead, down the side of the face, on the cheeks, under the eyes. You might find it easier to take your glasses off. And I also recommend that you do wash your hands before using this technique. So now that I've taught you the technique of this self-soothing using these three forms of touch, which you can repeat as long as you need, I'm going to talk a little bit about the science. So we know from neuroscience that during stress or fear or trauma, we get high frequency brain waves, also called gamma waves. And associated with these are a lot of changes in our nervous system and in our hormones. So we turn on what's called the sympathetic nervous system, or also called the fight or flight reaction, which prepares us to deal with a situation of danger. And that, when that is turned on, we're really turning off a lot of non-essential systems that we don't need for our immediate survival. We tend to raise hormones like cortisol, which are essential for dealing with an emergency, but unfortunately have the effect of greatly reducing the capacity of our immune system. So that's healthy and good for survival if we just have a short-term trauma or fear or anxiety. But if we're chronically trapped in fear and anxiety, we have raised cortisol, and that profoundly affects our immune system. And we know from multiple studies that various factors like that greatly reduce our capacity to deal with infections, to protect ourselves from viruses or other kind of infections, and indeed also the capacity of our body to heal from injury and illness. The reason that we recommend these three rather strange forms of self-touch is the latest neuroscience shows that in our skin we have specialized nerves which only have one job, and that is to detect a nice soothing touch. There's no other forms of touch stimulates these nerves, and these nerves are hardwired into the emotional part of our brain, and they're part of a highly evolved system for creating in us a sense of safety and soothing. And all mammals do this. So when a kid or a cub has a fright, they will cuddle up to the mum, and the mum will will stroke them or lick them and hold them tight, and they get these signals of soothing straight into the emotional centers of the brain. And what that does is it very rapidly reduces the acute stress response and just settles it down, and the hormones settle down, so things like the immune system will come back to their normal function. So the neuroscientists have found out that these three very specific forms of touch, the stroking of the hands, the stroking on the arms, and the stroking on the face, very quickly generate in the brain the opposite of trauma. So we get low frequency brain waves, which are called delta waves. And we know there are chemical machines in the brain, what we call enzymes, that are sensitive to the frequency of brain waves. And when they see this low frequency delta waves, they reverse the stress reaction and very quickly return the body to a state where it feels safe, where you feel calm, and all the normal functions of the body come back, like the important immune system. So that's really an explanation of why we do this. So just a reminder once more, the three forms of touch, the stroking of the hands, and please hold the hands upright, the stroking on the arms, just in a kind of soothing way like this, just at the rate that feels the most soothing and comfortable for you, and stroking on the face. I do hope you'll find this useful.